Hello, and welcome to Hoosier Hills Career Center. I'm Christy McBride, the director, and I'm really happy to share some information with you today. I hope you enjoyed the video that shows some of our wonderful students learning about the careers that they are interested in after high school. So on this first frame, you can see the entrance to Hoosier Hills Career Center, and we are located next to Bloomington High School North. For any of you who have been around that area and have maybe been to a softball or soccer game, you can see the entrance of our building really clearly. I know that you have some questions about our different programs, but I want to give you just kind of an overview of our school and then get into your question. The mission of Hoosier Hills Career Center is pretty simple. We want to make sure that our students are ready to go into the workforce or go on to a 2-year or a 4-year college or technical school so that they can learn more skills that they can take into their work site and develop positive professional work habits. So we do prepare students to go to a 2-year school like Vincennes or Ivy Tech, and we also prepare students to go on to a 4-year school, for instance, Purdue with building construction technology or vet science, IU with a variety of options for entrepreneurial and business types of careers. Definitely one of the things that we have been asked a lot with 4-year schools are, do our students feel like they can be successful going to a 4-year college? And yes, they do. Our biomedical program prepares students to go on and study things like neurology or cardiology, or just go in to be a registered nurse, which does require a degree. So there are lots of options for students, and I want to make it really clear that Hoosier Hills Career Center is for anyone who wants to go on straight to work after high school or go to get more training before you start your career. We have courses across various career pathways or career fields. For the most part, we have juniors and seniors that take our classes, but we do have several classes, particularly in construction, agriculture, architectural design and mechanical drafting, and intro to transportation, which gets you ready for auto collision or auto services that freshmen and sophomore students take. Our classes for our juniors and seniors are half-day programs, so either all morning or all afternoon. If you're attending one of the high schools in Bloomington, North, South, the Academy, or BGS, it takes anywhere from 2 to 3 of your class periods, and then you take the rest of your classes at your home high school. That's what it's referred to as your home high school. So I want to address our career clusters or career pathways, and I had some interesting questions. So agriculture, we have horticulture and landscape management. You'll see the picture of one of our former students who is studying at Murray State in equine studies. Equine means horse. So she is working with, and this is her horse that she was able to take with her to school. There are also a variety of life sciences with a concentration in animal science. So Allie did one of those programs. I have a question here, it looks like from Zach, that says, what are the agricultural classes like and what kinds of things do you do? Anna also wants to know, is there anything to do with animals or becoming a veterinarian? So that's something that's really close to my heart because my oldest child, my daughter, is a veterinarian. She went to Purdue and was a biochemical major, and then she went on to stay at Purdue and do their vet program and finished with her Doctor of Veterinary Medicine. So we do have animal science and advanced animal science classes that will help get you ready, but animal science also looks quite a bit at the chemistry and the physics behind what happens to muscles when there's an action on a muscle and the reaction of the muscle, as well as just human anatomy. There are so many similarities that those courses in science can also help you quite a bit in preparing for a veterinary program. So those are some of the things, Zach, that actually happen in the class. You do have small animals, so there are guinea pigs and rabbits, as well as dogs and cats, and we take some trips to be able to see different animals, so sheep or goats or pigs. So it just depends. One of the other great things that happens in the ag program is that they do a lot with plant and soil science, horticulture, landscaping, those types of classes. And we run a greenhouse. Every spring we have a very large greenhouse sale that helps to promote opportunities for our students through the FFA and the ag program. That's something that you may not have heard about, or you may have heard about. So a lot of kiddos know about 4-H because there are 4-H fairs. But there's also a program called FFA, Future Farmers of America, and that offers a great deal of leadership and contest as well as scholarships that go along with it. But the leadership and collaboration that happen with that program are really wonderful. So hopefully that helps answer some of the information that you're looking for about agriculture. I think there's another question that I have. Yep. What types of mathematical related courses are there? So architectural and construction, drafting and design, and the construction trades definitely offer a great deal of math. So you have to understand how to look at a ruler and know what 1/32 of an inch is, and then you need to be able to do calculations for things like square footage or making sure that you've squared for corners using the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And so there's a great deal of math in that program. I'll mention some more opportunities as well, but the hands-on experiences that students get in all of our classes are very different and specific to those trade areas, but hands-on happens across the board. So early childhood education, we actually have a daycare center, a child care center, or an early learning center available to students to go and do hands-on lessons with the students, the kiddos in that program. Health science. So we do have healthcare specialties, nursing, and the biomedical project lead the way. So most middle school students have had a little bit of access to or heard about the Gateway to Technology, which is the middle school version of Project Lead the Way. And so we have two different areas that we continue with Project Lead the Way at the high school area. At the Career Center, we offer kind of the upper level courses. So you could take PBS, which is Principles of Biomedical Sciences, and Human Body Systems, HBS, the second year program. But by the time you get to the Career Center, you would be taking your junior and senior year classes, and those allow you to go out into the community and do internships to actually learn about neurology or physical therapy, emergency departments at the hospitals, just a variety of things to do with the biomedical industry. Our nursing and healthcare specialties programs are really near and dear to my heart as well. A question that I have from Galaxy says, what kinds of hands-on experiences do the students in the health science program get to do or have availability of? So one of the things that our health science first year students get to do is learn things like blood pressures and how to understand dementia. And they actually go out to skilled nursing facilities and learn about dementia-friendly caregiving, and understanding that one day somebody might recognize you and 2 days later they may not know who you are at all, and they may not be interested in doing the thing they said they wanted to do the 2 days before. So there's a lot of flexibility and compassion and genuine care for others whom you don't know, that it has to really shine in the way that you work in a healthcare setting. Our second year students have the opportunity to learn phlebotomy, and for those of you that don't know what that term means, that means the people who take your blood or do other types of tests, like collecting samples and running tests to see what might be wrong with you. So phlebotomy is an interesting thing to do. I don't like needles, but for those of you that would be okay with drawing someone's blood, that's definitely something that you can do and earn a certification and go straight to work in that area. So CNA, Certified Nursing Assistant, or HHA, Home Health Aide, are other options for healthcare science students, and that is 100% hands-on. You are actually at a skilled nursing facility. We go to Beltrace Health and Living, and we have our students learn there and work with the patients or residents of those facilities. There's quite a bit of hands-on. Things aren't as maybe pretty as you might think because people get sick. You have to be able to deal with lots of different kinds of things that you're seeing there and help the residents to the best of your ability. And you learn those skills through classroom training and then clinical practices, which means that's the hands-on portion where you are making decisions and offering care to the folks in a very hands-on way. Hospitality and human services, some wonderful hands-on opportunities. Cosmetology, so that's kind of a strange word. Some people know what a cosmetologist is, but it's a little different because you can learn how to do hair, right? So not just dyeing hair or perming hair or coloring hair, but all of those things. You also learn about skincare and nails and things like permanent makeup, that kind of stuff in the cosmetology program. Culinary arts, that's cooking and baking and hospitality, learning the front end and the back end of a restaurant. We have the Dewdrop Inn that is open every Thursday. Obviously it wasn't open during COVID, but on Thursdays it's open for 2.5 hours and the public can come in. So if you're a part of the culinary arts program and you have a parent or grandparent or aunt or uncle in the community that wants to come in and taste the food that you have been working on for that week, they can come in and have lunch during that time. Information technology, you'll see in this picture, some of you might know what that is. Wish I could hear your answers, but that is an Oculus Rift that the young man is wearing. That's one of our students, and we get to go over to the IU university labs and get to see really cool things and play with some of their virtual items and get to see their virtual green rooms with their gaming programs. So we offer networking and PC support. So those are the two programs that we do. The PC support is an A+ certification program, and the networking is a Cisco training Both of those lead to very nice paying jobs and can help you transition into programs, again, locally at IU, or to go to Indiana State University, or to go over to Ivy Tech and finish up. We have, or Vincennes University. We actually have several dual credits in that program that transfer currently to Vincennes, and we're looking to make that also available to Ivy Tech. So it's a direct connection. I'm really proud of this program because about 5 years ago, when we first started going over to UITS at the University Information Technology Systems program at IU, one of our students became the first hire at IU, and within 6 months he was put on salary, and he is still working there. And he actually gets to run our tours, or part of our tours, when we go now. So it's a great opportunity. Our students are very well thought of in that program. Again, looking at these programs that are listed here, there's quite a bit to do with math and science in both of them. So you can't let up on those courses and making sure that you're keeping things going and understanding what's next in math or science for you to take in your core content classes. Here's a great picture of students from our fire and rescue program from last year. This program offers also hands-on. They actually receive 15 dual credits in just 1 year. So that's an entire semester of college credits that they get over the year's time that they're in the program. They also have 11 different certifications. So you might have heard of hazmat, hazardous materials. If there is a semi-truck that turns over that has hazardous materials, our students have been trained in how to respond to that. And so you'll see fire and emergency management professionals on the scene for those types of things. It's a great program. It does require that you have clearance from the physician that you go to currently, or one that you go to for like a physical, just like you would do for sports. So they do have to have a physical and make sure that you can do all of the really challenging things that are required. I'm really scared of heights, so I don't like climbing ladders, but these kids have to scale a 135-foot ladder to get on the top of the bucket to go up onto a roof and deal with a fire that's 2 stories up or 3 stories up. So think about that if you're interested. Again, if you're afraid of heights, probably not the thing for you. Manufacturing, welding. I had a question from Eric that said, how many students participate in the welding program each year? Welding is one of our most popular programs, and we have between 50 and 60 students who take that program every year. So those students actually earn entry-level welding certifications over the 2 years that they're in the program. There are a series of 5 computer tests that you have to take, including having to get 100% on your safety. You might have heard of OSHA safety and OSHA training. That is paramount in the welding program, as well as just about everything that we have here, but you have to be super safe in that welding program. So students take that program and they can actually earn a structural welding certificate from Ivy Tech before they graduate from high school if they've taken that program for the 2 years. Definitely a lot of math and science involved in the welding program. A lot of kids don't realize that, but you have to understand what the heat temperatures do to the metal and how the atoms in the metal respond to the welding components that you're using. So students learn arc welding, they learn arc, or what is called stick welding. They also learn MIG and TIG welding, and they do that on flux core and carbon steel. So there is a lot to learn, machining, and learning about how to make some of the tools and using grinders. So there's so much hands-on. That class is probably 85% hands-on. I hope that helps to, excuse me, answer the questions there. So the transportation, the advanced manufacturing and engineering, those programs, again, Project Lead the Way. So again, your gateway to technology. They do intro to engineering design in a classroom that is attached to Hoosier Hills, but not a part of Hoosier Hills. And then the sophomore, junior, and senior classes are a part of Hoosier Hills, and that's Principles of Engineering, Civil and Architectural Design, and Engineering Design and Development, which is the capstone class. Great deal of math goes into that engineering program. Transportation, automotive technology, so that is your automotive service. So learning brakes and steering and suspension and engine performance, that's all involved in auto technology. Some questions that I had from Isaiah, looks like wants to know, what types of tools do you use in the auto mechanics program? And PJ wanted to know what type of work that they do. So you do classroom training for part of the time, and then because you have to learn the foundations of what you're looking for on the vehicle, and then you learn a whole lot of computer aided diagnostics. We have iPads and computers that run diagnostic applications, and we actually have an alignment rack and tire balancing rack that is brand new that costs $30,000 for the program, but you can become certified in that process, and some students can go and get a job for the summer that then ends up being a part-time job through the school year, making a nice little chunk of change because you've been certified in how to do tire alignments and tire balancing and rotations. So yes, you learn how to do an oil change, you learn how to operate the lifts, you learn how to put brakes on, you understand how to do struts, but you do a lot of work under the hood and under the body of the car. You can't be afraid to get dirty in there, a lot of greasy hands, but we got big sinks so you can wash up. So it's quite a bit of work, and the kids are always busy, and they really love when they can change a part on a car and make it work better, or hear an engine really run in this quiet, peaceful manner instead of hearing lots of thumps and bumps that aren't supposed to be there. What kind of tools? So you definitely have things like ratchets and wrenches and sockets, and having a really good light and pin lights so you can see things, having some great set of pliers. We actually have an entire list that our students get to say these are things that would be a good thing to have in your toolbox. And so over the course of the 2 years that you're here, you bring that toolbox and you have it here at school, and that is your personal toolbox. We have lots of folks that will come in and give us really good deals on the prices for the different tools, but you can bring things in that your dad or grandpa or uncle or mom or aunt might let you have out of their toolbox to use for the year, and get to use some of those hand tools, but then we have quite a few power tools that can be used as well. I hope that helps to answer your question, Isaiah. You will probably have to spend maybe $75 to $100 on tools in a toolbox to use, so that you always have those tools that you're most familiar with, or that you like, maybe the way a Craftsman wrench works versus a different brand. So the auto collision. So auto collision is when you, do things like I've done and run into a mailbox and have to have somebody fix the dent and repaint your bumper. So that really happens. And so that is learning how to use molding paste and various types of sand with different grit strengths to buff out something or clear other items off of a hood or a fender or a bumper so that you can repaint it and match it back up to what the car or truck or SUV originally looked like. One of the really cool things that they do in that class is that they get to make a bowling pin and a license plate, and they use all of the same processes that you would use on the vehicle on that bowling pin, and then they get a cool thing to take home. So you get to do some artsy designs, and the kids really like it. They're actually doing that right now in class, and so that's kind of a competition that they have with each other to see who has the best bowling pin design. And then the recreational and mobile equipment is kind of a new class that deals with 2-cycle and 4-cycle engines, so dirt bikes and ATVs, also lawnmowers and gators and things like that. So one of the other pieces that I wanted to make sure that everyone understood was that our programs offer training in areas that allow you to go on to become a profession in that area. And so, yes, there's a great deal of money that can be made, but the other thing is really enjoying what you do. And that's what I really hope that you get out of your time at Hoosier Hills. We also offer certifications in our programs. So you see Serve Safe in the middle. That's for folks in culinary arts. That definitely gives you a heads up in getting a job. ASE certification comes out of automotive. And HOSA is the Health Occupation Students of America. So kind of like an FFA, it's the health students, and they compete in a contest every year. And we actually have the HOSA president coming out of our program. So Lucy's super excited to serve as the HOSA president across the state, and she'll be speaking and attending, speaking at different events and attending different events over the course of the next year. There are also activities that we have at Hoosier Hills that are maybe specific. Yes, I had to show you some food because that's one of the wonderful things about the Dewdrop in our culinary arts, and they don't always let the principal try things. Sometimes students get to it, or most of the time actually students get to it before I do, but that sure looks tasty. So we have what's called National Technical Honor Society, and if you're a part of that, you actually get special cords to wear at graduation, and you can compete for scholarships. We had 2 scholarship winners last year. The FFA, Future Farmers of America, we just talked about that. Skills USA is a competition that can also earn you cash prizes as well as scholarships for school. And those are specifically through the culinary and auto tech programs. I've told you about HOSA with the Health Science Students of America. And then we have a student opportunities for service, our SOS kids, kind of like a student council, and some of the kids at Hoosier Hills don't always get chosen for student council, and this is, you can choose yourself. You don't have to be nominated. It just is, if you want to serve others, you can be a part of those activities. So that's kind of the end of